Yo, what's up, everybody? Hello. Happy Thursday. How's it going? It's good to have you guys here. Good to be in another Thursday, ready to create something new, ready to hang out. I'm so glad that you guys join me every Thursday. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I want to see you guys on the chat. If you're here, say hi, please. I would love to see that. And yeah, I'm excited today because we're going to be creating or continuing to create something that we started last week, and we're going to continue doing it this week. And we started doing this poster design last week. That was really cool. And now we're going to continue doing a little bit of that. And then we're going to be applying some 3D effects into the different shapes that we made. I'm really excited because I feel like it's going to be like next leveling what we created last week. And for some of you guys that never seen that kind of like that process, or this might open up some different possibilities for you that you could do. What's up, Idara? What's up, Dino? Hello, good to see you. What's up, Fra? It's good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Kane, what's up? Good to see you from Behance. Good to have you here. But yeah, we're going to be jumping into that and doing a little bit of it, and it should be pretty fun. What we did last week, let me show you guys real quick what we did last week. I actually opened the episode from last week, which, by the way, is something that you can do. What's up, Arif? Good to see you. Something that you guys can do if you want to watch the episode from last week and you haven't watched it yet. You can go into YouTube, go to Adobe Live, and then search for last week's episode. But essentially what we did last week is that we used the pen tool, or like the brush tool, actually, inside of Photoshop to really quickly just create an outline that we wanted to create, and pretty simply just drawing it straight on Photoshop using this mirror effect. Who was here last week? If you were here last week, let me know. Also, really cool thing and that I'm going to ask you guys to do is to like the video right now for this episode that we're doing right now. Just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps with like people like finding the show, and for the community to grow. And also, it's also good to see you guys when you guys comment on the video and give me feedback live. I love seeing that. But anyways, we drew these different shapes, and we make 2 different layers of those shapes. And we did that pretty simply. And then we used the pen tool to color inside of those lines that we had drawn before. And now we have these 2 different layers that we can extract here. We have this bottom one, and then we have this top one that you'll see me drawing here. And then at the end of last episode, we ended up with something that looked sort of like this from that. So if you want to learn how to do that, a little bit of the process, go ahead and do that. What's up, Lucas? Good to see you. Yeah, so if you like to learn how to do that and you don't know how to tackle something like this, go to last episode, check it out. So now we're going to be starting at this point. Let me see if I'm in the right software. I'm not here. We're going to start at this point where we finished last week. We have all of different things. And our goal for this episode is just to add a little bit more of something that feels creative, and it could be kind of like the final export of this. Maybe a poster, maybe a hybrid between a poster and a little bit of art that we can still use in the skateboard design. So we're going to be completing that. And then something else that I want to do is that I want to go ahead and kind of fit that a little bit into just creating it with like more of a 3D effect, something that looks a little bit nicer, that looks a little bit more finished. And that's what we're going to be doing today. But not before we review y'all's designs inside of Discord. So we'll start with around here. Let me see. Last week, I posted the result for last week. I don't know what happened here. Okay, so we start with this design from RF using the skateboard, and using this design on the skateboard with different elements. I don't know if you're using all of these is generated RF, or if you're doing a little bit of like inputting some things in it. But really fun design, kind of 80s vibe with the different icons. And you're using a few of 2 different styles here, using this more cartoonish and then this more like street. I would encourage you to like keep it all into one style. Maybe if you make all these things in the middle, all these elements in the middle more graffiti-ish, I feel like it would have a better effect on the design. But really fun effect. I love how it mirrors, and I love how it complements the left side and the right side. It feels very appropriate for a skateboard. So good job on that. Let's go on to the next one. we got this design from, and I don't know, I think the user is private again, but if you're here, I love these. I was looking at them right before the show. Pretty cool. I love how you're doing some of the I think we did something like that in one of the episodes, right? We grab a hand from somewhere else, put it in from, and it's always just fun to like piece these things together. It looks really cool. I love, like, it feels like Dr. Pepper in a way, this kind of font up here. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but it feels really cool. I love the red in the earrings. I feel like that's a nice touch. And how, you have some of the lighter tones on the earrings, but red on the bottom. And then this photo is doing the same thing, but the opposite way, right? Lighter on the bottom, red on the top. I feel like that's really cool. Also, I feel like it's really cool to see the crown as well. That was really cool. Great job on this artwork. Let's see the next one. You uploaded 3 of them, so that's really cool. I love this. I love this glass effect. I don't know if you guys have seen this poster that is kind of like a I made a poster with a subject just like this, glass and 2 birds flying in front of it. So I think it's kind of like a homage to that poster. That this looks really cool, and it's super awesome to see your version of this. Amazing work, really, really cool. I love it. Okay, next we have another one playing around with this this subject and the table. Man, I love just flat elements like that, like this that are obviously a flat element, like the table, combined with photography, combined with other elements. I love some of those things, and I think you're doing a good job at doing that here. And the perspective on the skull could be better, like if you turn it, especially with turntable thing that happens now on Photoshop. You can turn this asset pretty easily, so I would encourage you to do that. It would be a lot nicer if it's facing a little bit to the side. A great job on all of these. I don't know how much you are used to creating things like this, but great job on doing something like that. If you want to comment on the chat, we'll love to get to meet you a little bit more. All right. So Daria submitted again. She submitted last week and she's submitting this week again. Hello, this is my submission for this week. I tried experimenting more with symmetry tool, but I got a bit carried away and discovered that old typeface from 1936 by coincidence. The shapes reminds me of the skateboard shape. So okay, awesome. Yeah. This is the typeface that you're talking about. Yeah, so cool. What a cool type. Wow. From 1936. That's hard to even comprehend. Like the people were doing fonts back then and using them. And wow, it was pretty sick. And I don't know if you guys know, but back in the day, they used to sell the metal plates that people use for print. So you couldn't even obviously buy digital. You had to buy the metal plate to be able to use the font. So this is really cool. Really awesome design. I love all the colors and how fun it is. And I love this typeface. It's beautiful. I love how you're using it. And I love the slanted shape in the middle of the font and how you're mimicking that in the background. It's the same angle, right? Inside of the shape inside of the font. It has the same shape of like a pill inside of it. And then you're doing the same thing with the outside of it. That feels really nice. Very summery or like 70s in a way. I really love it. AC. Took me a second. Image attached is a modify to the first image attached with prompt. Still working on textures, colors, gradients. Not sure if I'm going to open a space. And ideas would be appreciated. So you guys send your ideas here if you have some for this artwork. Really really cool, like how so the first image I'm trying to see here, second image attached, you got the skateboard design, which is really cool. I love the symmetry on this. I love how intense in a good way it feels very like geometry is really intense. It has like the nature of almost like primitive nature to it that feels very strong, almost like a face like type of thing in the middle that I really like about this. And I also love this image, like the treatment on it. I think you posted something last week or the week before that kind of had the same treatment. That was very, I I don't know, like vintage photography in a way, oversaturated. This kind of vibe I really like. This is a vibe. I love this image. So cool. It looks like you expanded the background, expanded some of the things, and then created this cool effect. I love this effect. I feel like you should double down on this effect and kind of like add like some fonts and some different things that feel like retro like this, and kind of like maybe print them, take a photo of them, put them back into the computer so it has kind of this distorted element into it. But I love this style. Really cool. What's up, Kane? Good to see you. Good to have you back. What's up, Frank? It's great to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. All right. And then we have some work from Lucas. What's up? This is my contribution for this week. This is visual identity project I've worked on. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm looking like this, and I hope you like it. And streetwear company that explores urban styles and minimalism. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. Wave Corp. Build for people who don't follow. I love it. Looks really cool. I love all of the mockups that you have going on. I love how, strong the colors are. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, amazing, man. Thank you for posting this and for sharing it with us. It's a really cool work. I don't know if you're doing this for a client or just for fun, but it feels really nice. And let me see if you mentioned it here. It says that you're doing it working on, but you didn't mention if it was for a client or just for fun. But it looks really nice. I love the colors, and I love how it's looking. In a way, man, I feel like this inside shape inside of the flower that looks a little bit more aggressive. You see it with without the flower outside and the little dot in the middle is very interesting to me. So I feel like you should look into that. Maybe there's something there that you can extract to play with, right? Do you see what I mean? The inside of the flower without the petals, the negative space with the dot, it looks really interesting. Especially if you turn that into something that has to do with the brand. So if it's a clothing brand, it's very clear that you can make a P letter with it, right? So this is a round form. If you keep it going down, you can make a P form. But if you could even make a W with it, it would be really cool. I feel like the shape in the middle is way more unique than the shape outside. But it looks amazing. Great job, man. I love seeing this. Thank you for sharing some work that it's a little bit different than what we normally share. You're so talented, and thank you for sharing that. All right, Dino, share something. Awesome. Okay, so I love this, Dino. I love I love how you're using some of the elements of the bird, like the feathers back here, to support the other element. And I feel like that's something that you're doing with some of the other designs that we saw a few weeks ago with the Manchester City thing that you shared, where you have a bigger figure and then you have other figures alongside of it. I think that is fantastic that you keep going to the same kind of motif, and it's something that's characteristic to the work that you're doing. So great job on that. I don't know if Birdhouse is our Arshall brand. Maybe you guys can tell me. But I like the logo of Birdhouse. I think it's a very unique font. I think it clashes a little bit with the other font that you're using. But maybe this is an Arshall brand that's out there, or maybe if it's your own brand, I feel like you should explore using the same font on over here. Let's see the next one. Oh, the goat. That's awesome. I love this. I'm guessing Birdhouse is an Arshall brand. Is it? I don't know. This is really cool. I love how it lands with everything. I love the colors. Even the type, for a second I was like, maybe the type will be better somewhere else. But I think on skateboards, I feel like it's kind of cool to have type that big and function almost as a natural brand from Tony Hawk. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Perfect. So, yeah, I feel like the letters, you should commit a little bit more and make them even bigger for it to be more of a design element. Because right now it's landing on that space where, it's meant to be red, maybe not. So maybe it's doing a little bit of that. But I mean, I love the design regardless of that. An idea that I had just now looking at this is, what if you select the edges of the feathers that you have all blue now? What if you select those and then you draw some of these gradient that you have that's yellow inside of those edges? So it looks almost like it's glowing yellow sometimes. So it looks dark blue and it glows yellow in some areas. It looks like it's shining. I feel like that could be a really cool supporting element to bring some of the yellow to the feathers as well. That would be really cool. Yes, House is a skateboarding brand. Yeah, Tony Hawk. Sweet, nice work, man. Amazing work. I love it. Congratulations on another great design. Really lovely. Great job, everybody. Great job this week. Thank you for submitting. Thank you so much for sharing your work. It's always amazing that you guys do that and take the risk to do it. Quote unquote risk, right? To share. And, I love seeing you guys even commenting on each other's things. And I love that. All right. Without further ado, let's jump into this. Just to see what we want to do with it. First, I want to grab all of these assets that I have here that we created last time we did the stream. And I want to start creating bringing some different elements into it that feel more realistic. And then I want to do the same thing with just adding a photo or something. I saved a couple images here that I really loved what they felt like and looked like. Let me show them to you guys. I'm sorry, I have a mess over here. So, okay, I'm pulling from my downloads real quick. This cool image, check this out. Isn't this cool? Super cool image I found on Pinterest this morning that I really liked. And this other image that I really loved as well. I've seen these two images before and I saved them. But I love, first of all, I love how raw this image on the right is. I feel like it's, at least for me right now, I feel like, this kind of cross of very textural art that feels like, I've always been inclined, obviously, to heavy photography references or things that feel like real world, like this tile back here. But then having these painted elements on top of it, to me, is beautiful. And then the same thing with these other elements that we're seeing here that are more like hand drawn on top of the photo. I feel like that's beautiful. And I want to do something like that with this. So we can go two routes. We could either go this route. This feels a little bit more pop and commercial. Or we can go this route that feels a little bit more artistic. I don't know. Maybe we'll start working on it and then go from there. One thing that I do want to do with you guys today is maybe grab some of the elements that we have and add some texture to them. And then we can create a photo to go behind here and make those elements work together. What do you guys think? In a way, something that we could do, I love these color palettes. Maybe we could even do something kind of inspired by that color palette, like intense red. I mean, it's a lot of what we normally use already. But I also like the strokes on the artwork. I feel like the strokes are really cool. The black painted strokes give it a good feel of hand drawn, and also these shadows are pretty cool too. So maybe we can draw some of those shadows. I feel like that. So we got some blues, some purples. Let me draw a little bit of these colors in here. Maybe something that feels more like this. A little darker maybe. And then we'll do the same thing with the stroke. I think the black stroke across everything would be really cool. The stroke is getting a little bit out of control. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit better. All right, let's turn it off. I feel like we can go from there with some of these. Yeah, fantastic work, everybody. Great job this week. Great submissions. Are you guys posting some of this work on Instagram as well? If you're not, you should be doing that. As you're growing and making more things, it's always good to post stuff out there. And the reason why I feel like I feel so strongly about that. It's like I feel like you don't know. Yeah, you don't know who's looking at the things, and I mean, who's going to like them, and also it's a good accountability thing to, I don't know, to keep those things kind of out there for all the people to see them. I feel like it's very useful to do so. So go ahead and post them, share them, tag me on them if you want to, so that I can see them. Yeah, I've seen Arif stuff on Instagram all the time. He does a great job of posting them. All right, I don't know if we should go this route. Let me show you the other route that we had. This is more painterly, but right now this texture over here, this thing over here is kind of crazy. This more hand painted stuff is cool, but at the same time, I do want it. Let's make it a ratio of 1:1 real quick. And I'm gonna crop it up here. Be a little bit more down. Yeah, this is about the space that we need. Let me see the skateboard, how it fits in here. Oh shoot, we cropped it. Hold on. I went on and started like adding the stroke without thinking about it. This is how I create sometimes. I just go in and start doing things without thinking about it too much. But before I do that, let me show you guys the plan that I had also, besides the inspiration that I showed you guys for today. They could be really cool. Let me see how the skateboard fits in here. Okay, it goes all the way out to there. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to create a square. Yeah, something like that. Perfect. That I can export this in, and we're going to export both textures, because we're going to take it to Firefly and apply a texture on top of it. So let's go ahead and save this as a JPEG, I guess. I'm going to put it on downloads. Remember, the reason why I made it square before I move forward is because I can output exactly as a square inside of Firefly, and that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so turn this one off, I guess. I guess this is the problem with not cleaning your layers, huh? Okay, let me make them black. We want to make pretty much everything in here black. Sweet. Do we have anything else on this side, on the bottom, or not? These are the sketches. All right, this is it. Okay, and I'm gonna save this one as well. Let's go to downloads, and we're gonna save this one as a JPEG as well. So we're saving both of these, and then we're gonna go to Firefly, and I've prepared some prompts for you guys. I know you guys asked me last time, hey, how do you create those prompts and all of that? In this case, I'm using a reference image, and I'm gonna show you guys in a second. So I'm gonna bring in the two images that we created together. So these are the layer 1 and layer 2, right? And all we gotta do now is that we have to copy that image in there. I'm gonna paste this prompt, and I'm gonna use Nano Banana 3. This is all inside of Firefly boards. So yeah, if you click on this square up here, you get to kind of like color pick which image you want to use. I use the first one, and then I pasted this prompt. Let me show you where the prompt is while I send that. Oh, I didn't press square. Okay, now I'm going to send it. Sweet. So inside of ChatGPT, I'm showing it a reference. Like for example, this image that's like a metal texture. And I'm saying, hey, create a prompt that removes everything and essentially uses my sketch to create that material. In a way, I'm using the thing to render, and then I'm gonna paste it here and use it to render this this image. So let's grab the second one now, and let's click generate, and let's see what happens with that. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't work that great. And as you can see, it's creating a very detailed prompt that is going to hopefully make my image kind of follow this style pretty well. We've done this a few times on the show in other episodes. Let's see if it works. Sometimes it works really well. See this one? Yeah, sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it doesn't, right? Maybe here my prompt had the black area, so maybe it's reading these blue ones and leaving them out. So maybe I need to go back and just make all of these black. Color overlay. Where do you find the prompt? Right now I'm doing ChatGPT. That's kind of what I'm testing out, right? It's like ChatGPT, I'm describing what I want. I'm giving it a reference image and it's creating a prompt for me. And then I'm bringing that prompt inside of Firefly. And that's what I'm using inside of Firefly with my image that we created here, that we sketched in Photoshop and then brought into Firefly. And then we're saying, hey, use this. Check this out, guys. Sick. I love this. I mean, it made an extra. Did it make an extra thing? Yeah, it did make an extra thing back here. But how cool is this? Boom. Super cool. Super cool. With our design, it's just like amazing. So, yeah, sometimes it works better at following the lines. Sometimes it does whatever it wants to do. There's a little bit of tweaking. Check this out. How cool is this? This is sick. I'm gonna download this. Yeah, because that's something that I wanted to do instead of like having it. Let me go back to when we started today. Oops. Maybe somewhere around here. No. Something like that. Yeah, when we started today on this, it was missing for me. It was missing kind of like a cool way of like bringing a little bit of a natural aspect to it that felt cool. And I feel like this is a good way to do that. And obviously we can modify as much as we want to, and also we can click remove background. Let's click remove background real quick. See what it feels like, what it looks like. Yeah, because this was the top texture. And then the bottom one was this one over here that I was changing the color to. Let's apply this color back into that. Let's put the skateboard on. Yeah, but look how sick that looks already, like with the metal texture. And the cool thing is because we're in Photoshop, we can color over it if we want to. A little bit more. I sent this one again. Is this the same one? It is the same one. Let me see. Generate. Let me use this prompt and use this image instead. Sometimes, I'll tell you what, guys. Sometimes when you're doing these things and you have that much detail so small, it doesn't let you get all those details. Yeah, using Gemini, you can use Firefly Image 5. You can use whichever ones of these models, and it should be pretty accurate to your shapes. Oh, check this one out. That's sick. Okay. It changed my design slightly here from this one. You see it? It's a little bit different, the heart in the metal. I don't dislike that heart. I think the heart is kind of cool. So we can put it back into this. Let me see. Here you are. I'm gonna drop it in, bring you to the front, remove background, and boom. Because these are both very obviously similar materials, they're not going to behave super well together. But we could always change that a little bit by doing, for example, a gradient map. Where's the gradient map? Down here. I'm going to apply the gradient map into or like mask it, and then we can just change the color of it. Let's change it a little bit. And we can do a little bit of this. Obviously, this is very different than the original, very original. When I say very different, I mean stylistically, right? Stylistically very different than what we had at the beginning of the episode, which was the... let me go ahead and open it. Let me save this one as a number 2. And let me open the original design so we can see it, because it definitely did change a lot. Sorry guys to be exposing all my folders like this. All right, there it is. All right, so yeah, obviously very different, and what I mean is like stylistically is very different, right? But let's position this exactly where the other one was. Maybe like that. We can take off the skateboard. We don't need it right now. And then the top layer, this one, was originally on top. And we can move this around a little bit. So I do like this so much. Like this, we're gonna have to repaint this. I'm gonna mute them for a second because I painted them all together. So or maybe these 4. Well, let's group them and send them down. Let's see what they look like real quick if we color them in. Essentially playing with the same kind of assets that we had from last episode, but yeah, I like that. I feel like this looks pretty sick. Let's change the background color real quick to maybe something like this. Maybe. I'm not sure about the background color yet. I'm not sure about it. Maybe a little darker like that. What do you guys think? The grading is sick. Oof. Yeah, I do like the grading too. I think you're referring. I think you sent that when I had the red right on these things. I do want to add that. I just want to position these things first. And now that we do have them, we can draw inside of them. I'm trying to see what our color palette should be, right? Because we have so many colors going on. This is the problem with me and color. I just love it so much. I just can't help it. I'll start going crazy, adding too many colors to it. I'm going to be a little bit kind of like chill with the color. And let's do something like this. I'm going to add some shadows as well. So I'm like trying to draw some of the shadows that will come from this big element. How I would guess they will be. Like that. I don't know if I should do any over here, maybe over here just a little bit. All right, enough shadows real quick. Let me make them multiply and bring them down in opacity a little bit. Okay, that's starting to stack very well. Now, these bad boys up here, they're on the whole group, right, on his own. I think these are the ones that I want to bring in from Firefly with a totally different style. What happened? What is this? What is that? Was that there? Yeah, that was there, right? Jeez, I just saw those for the first time. I think I activated them a second ago, but they look really well with this on top of it. Okay, let me make this a different color because I'm going crazy. I think this looks really good with this on top of it, but yeah, we definitely do need some distinction. We need to, like, this is everything too convoluted. So maybe let's change the color of this a little bit. Originally we had red on that. Something like this, maybe. What do you guys think? I don't know if I like it or not. Okay, let me see what else is happening here with color. See how we could change it a tiny bit. Why is this not working? Yeah, it is working. I don't know why it took so long to make that change. Okay, and then now this. See, I'm desaturating everything. The real struggles. Okay, maybe we do, instead of green here, we should go a little bit more blue. So let's move this from green to blue. Do you guys love working with color, like spending time thinking about color, or is it something that you guys rather not do? Okay, this one need to go down a little bit. That's what was happening. This was like throwing the whole composition off. I feel like this, something like this would be sick. Boom. And then now these ones, I want those to be these things. Yes. This is perfect. Okay, let's load this again and send that again. Let's go back into our prompts and let's copy this prompt and run it back. I don't know if we ran this one already or not. Maybe. Okay, this is the metal, another metal one. This one is with Google. Yeah, this one's with Google. Gemini on this one. Thank you, Dara. I appreciate it. Yeah, okay. So maybe we can, what we could do is, like, if it doesn't generate another one that looks this good. I love this. Do you guys love this? This is sick. I'm like, I feel like I can grab this. I'm like, ah, so awesome. Okay, so I'm generating another one of those. It's just doing too much. You see it? You guys see it's like just adding like this other thing to it that is not there. And oh, perfect. This one's clean. Okay, that's something that happens, just so you know, when you have too many shapes, the AI stuff gets crazy. And it's like, I don't know. I don't see what you want me to do. And it starts editing too much. So what you want to do is that you want to maybe export, like, obviously I have this mirror, so it's unnecessary, right? I could literally just export the star, the circle, all on its own, as its own elements. And then I can bring them one by one. In a way, I'm being lazy doing this and doing it all at once. But I'm obviously trying to finish on the time of the show. So if you have a little bit more time, export each element or put them separately in like a folder or something, and then you could bring them in like this. All right, but you can see, boom, let's bring it back up. Press OK. Remove background. It should remove all the white and give us this clean looking thing. Sweet. Okay, now we have to mask out the ones that we don't want. We don't want the green ones. We only want the reds. The green, somewhat plastic-like shape would also look great. Off-white clothing print. Yep. I agree. Getting better and better. Thank you. All right. Okay, so obviously this needs to be a different color. So first thing we're gonna do, let's leave out which ones do we want on the back and which ones do we want on the front. We don't want the big ones here. So what I'm going to do is that we want to do this. I'm gonna just use a very brute force over here and just select all of the ones inside versus the one outside. So everything inside, copy paste. Sweetness, I want to put it over here. And then we're gonna copy paste them. Command T, transform, rotate horizontally, and boom, put them over here. I do want to ask you guys something while I'm working the rest of today. Do you have any ideas of something you would like for me to make in the upcoming weeks? I've been thinking about what I want to do for the show, and obviously we could do some of the fun things that we've done before, like the whole roulette thing where I get more of a challenge. Or we could do a brand for something, or we could do anything. So really, I don't know if you guys have any ideas. You're like, man, you've never done anything like this, for example, whatever idea you have, and throw it out there. If you want to throw it in here during the show so other people can see it and back it, or if you want to throw it on Discord, or if you see something online that you really like during the next week or so. I'm trying to prepare the next episodes that are coming up, and I always have somewhat of an idea of what I want to share, but I also want to hear from you guys. I feel like more importantly than me just yapping and just doing whatever I want to also hear from what you guys want me to share, want me to do. I feel like that would be really cool. Okay, what do you guys think about this color? I feel like everything looks really dark. It definitely does need to be on the red spectrum-ish. I think what's happening also is that the black is too black. So there you go. We do something like this. We need to keep it dark, but something like that maybe. Let me try it just with hue saturation, just to see if we can. I mean, it is pretty dark. All right, so let's do it like this. And then now I think we need to change out the black, this red on the back to a more pink color that complements the front a little bit more. Maybe let's keep it more red like this, but let's change these shapes. I just unite them. Yeah, something like this is looking cool. A little brighter. Something else that we could do, and I like doing a lot, is like drawing on top of these shapes normally with like solid colors and stuff. Oh, it's under the... Okay, there you go. Yeah, check it out. It looks nice. Okay, for it to look a little bit nicer, it would be nice if we draw first a little bit yellow. And on top of the yellow, we do red, because then it looks like it's shining. See what I mean? That looks cool. Look at that. A little bit of white over here. Maybe a little less over on the edge. Thank you, Arif. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys like this this sort of design. Okay, we could. You see this back here still bothers me a little bit. I think it was great when we first did it, but now it distracts a lot. So maybe we just make it black, and then when we make this background a little bit lighter, the black is going to look like shadows. So maybe that's something that we could do. I don't know if this will fit into a skateboard anymore, but does it fit into a skateboard? Let's see. Let's turn on the. Yeah, it does. Check it out. It's pretty cool. And we can obviously change the colors a little bit. There's a white edge around this that we didn't remove it super well. We can pretty much click on the selection and then go to select, modify. You can do a contract. You can do the border one. Let's do contract. Let's do 2 pixels. See what that feels like. Yes. I know what I'm doing. No, I do not know what I'm doing. All right. Sweet. So just like that, you can remove that white edge. I don't think we needed 2 pixels. Maybe 1 pixel would have been enough. Let me see. Yeah, let's try 1 pixel. So you click on the selection, go to select, then modify, and then in this case would be expand, I guess. Let's just do contract. I'm confused. Let's do that, and then delete. Sweet, and it deleted all of that white thing around. Very nice. Still not super happy with this yellow. Maybe we make it more of a greenish thing. Or maybe more intense yellow. Sweet. Something like that would be nice. Look at that. All right. So the stars and the stuff, we can maybe draw on top of those as well. Just a little bit more light, a little bit more color. There you go, something like that. I just love just drawing a little bit of colors on top of like realistic shapes. I know it makes them look flat, but it just makes them so much better, in my opinion. We can do some look. If you do some shadows, check this out, guys. Let me zoom in so you can see it. On this drop over here, do some black on the bottom, right? And then pick this bright red, and then do some red. Oof, look at that. Light is hitting it. Doesn't that look cool? Oh man, I love this. All right, so little bit more pink. Sweet. Send it back a little bit. Yeah, what do you guys think? Is it too red now? Is it better like this? Things better like that. I feel like this looks like a K-pop album cover instead of a skateboard now. What do you guys think? Let's see the background, the different color one, though. We like this to see. What if we just make it boom? Too much. I told you this thing is gonna bother us, the shadow thing. Oof, this looks nice. This looks really nice, especially if we go into the corners. It's all about creating, right? The perspective that's not there. So if we do some shadow on the corners, just like that, oof, starts looking cool. Obviously, we're not gonna use the edges like that, like the way they look there. We're going to zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, I'm loving this. I feel like it's looking nicer and nicer. Very different than what you do normally. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit different than what I do normally. At the same time, this happens to me so much because of the way that I work with the tools. Like I make something and I feel like it looks different than what I normally do, right? Like this work that I'm doing here. But then somebody sees it and they know I made it because I always do the same kind of like things with the bold colors and the way that I apply these brushes and do the things. I feel like it's always the same. It'd be really cool for this. It's to go into here and like do some graffiti stuff on top of some of these. Just give it a little bit more of a look to it. Still can tell if I like the background way lighter or way darker. What do you guys think? Maybe both. Maybe we keep it like that. Let's see if we add a little bit more of a glow back here. If that's cool or not. I think it is. I just don't want it to be as green as it was a second ago. So maybe something like more yellow like this. And then we do a dissolve. Maybe. Too much noise on the dissolve. Maybe flow down to like 15%. And now it just looks a little bit more like textural back there. What do you guys think? I like that. That's a vibe. I thought I would have way more time today. I feel like time goes by so quickly when I'm doing this. Okay, check out the other. These are so cool too. I feel like with this we could do I feel like we could do the opposite of what we're doing here with this one. We could delete all of these. Delete this. Delete this. Don't worry, I have it on a separate. I have it on a separate layer. On a separate board. Or we can make a more synthetic looking one on this one. Remove background. Boom, boom. Delete these ones over here. Am I trying to come up with a second design in a few minutes? Yes, I am. Why? I don't know. We just got to see it real quick. Drop it on the top. Get rid of all the color inside. Only lines outside. This might be a really bad idea. It might be pretty brilliant. We're about to find out. Most likely it's going to be a dumb idea. All right, so I just want to see what this looked like. With this thing on it. So dramatic. It needs to be a little bit more commercial. So it needs to be a little bit more like that, right? Like a little bit happier. The green in the middle is muting the rest of the stuff. I have this one too. Don't worry about it. We have the one that we really liked. Talking about graffiti, this is something that I'm trying to bring into my Glacier image. Maybe creating collaboration with graffiti artists. You're trying to bring it into your Glacier? One day, maybe design. Yeah, I feel like you don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what things could look like ahead of time. But one cool thing is that you can nowadays you can mock it up. Like on something like this, I can add like a graffiti. I'm just gonna do quickly like graffiti. Like for example, obviously these are, I don't even know what I'm putting here just to show you an example, but you can you can mock it up pretty quickly now with I'm gonna grab this block over here, copy paste it, select color range, and just color range the black letters, copy paste them, and then now you can throw those let's make them black real quick. You can throw those on top of your texture over here, maybe on an area like down here, maybe warp it a little bit, make it look like it belongs there a tiny bit. And yeah, that's what I was talking about for something like this. Maybe we can add more details like this, and then going with the brush and paint a little bit of it. I make it look like it's dripping. So you can go in and do some stuff like that pretty simply, pretty easy, and just add more dimension, right, to what you're doing. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, we're running out of time pretty quickly here. Let me see if we can wrap this other concept up. Although it's pretty quickly, and I was trying to put it together pretty quickly. Let me see the skateboard in it, on top of it, on top. Yeah, these lines would need to be, oof, I made a mistake. I brought them all together. I meant to group them, and I just outlined them. All right, so something like this would be cool. And we still have literally a couple minutes. So yeah, leave your ideas. If you want to see something in the show that you've seen around the internet, you don't know how it's made, or if you want some feedback on something, and also ideas of what you think I should do for some of these upcoming episodes. Maybe it's not going to happen on the next one, but maybe after that would be great. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, see what you guys have going on also with your work, the things that you're coming up with. I love seeing your branding project today. I love seeing y'all's posters today. So yeah, go ahead and keep submitting some of those. Keep sharing them with us. I feel like they are so cool looking, and I definitely want to keep seeing some of the work coming through, and give you guys my feedback as we go with it. But it's always great to hang out with you guys. Always great to do amazing design, amazing work. Hopefully this inspires you guys. And you guys can create your own things and post them. So if you want to follow this kind of like thing that we did today and kind of the vibe that we created, you can go in and then post it for next week for all of us to see what you created, what you came up with. We would love to see it. And I would love to see you on Discord. But yeah, this is what we created today. This is the other thing that we created today. And I'll share it on Discord so you guys can have it and see it. Great seeing you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.